I'd like to tell you about the moment everything changed for me. I was standing in my kitchen, absolutely shattered. It was about 7 a.m. and I'd just got what should have been a decent night's sleep, so 8 hours in bed, but I felt terrible. I had brain fog, I had heavy limbs, that feeling where you just want to crawl back under your duvet. And I remember thinking, what's actually wrong with me? Because I was doing everything right, or I thought I was. I'd been cleaning up my diet for a few years. I was cooking everything from scratch. I was eating well. I was avoiding processed foods, and I was running several times a week. I was really trying so hard, and my body just wasn't responding. In fact, it was getting worse. I had chronic digestive issues that doctors kept calling IBS but couldn't really help with. I had skin rashes and eczema that persisted despite seeing multiple dermatologists, and fatigue that just wouldn't shift, and blood sugar crashes that left me shaky and irritable quite often. And I tried so many things. I was vegan for a few years, which I had to stop because I started having health problems from that. I tried the whole foods diet, high carb, low carb, pro-metabolic eating, if you've heard of that. I tried the GAPS diet. Literally, I tried so many things, but nothing stuck and nothing actually fixed the problem. And somewhere along the way, I started to feel like I was failing at health, which made no sense because I was working harder at it than anyone I knew. Maybe you felt that way too, that quiet frustration, that sense of why isn't my body cooperating when I'm doing all the right things? And here's what I didn't understand then. My body wasn't broken and it wasn't failing me. It was responding exactly as it should to the signals I was giving it. And the problem was those signals were completely misaligned. And once I understood that, once I learned about circadian biology and nervous system regulation and how light and timing affect metabolism, everything changed for me. And it wasn't overnight, but it was steadily changing, and my energy came back, my brain cleared, my hormones balanced, and my digestion settled as well. For the first time in years, I felt like my body was working with me instead of against me. And that's what I want to share with you on this podcast. Welcome to Quantum Nourishment. I'm Frances Norgate, a certified nutrition and lifestyle advisor qualified at the Institute for Optimum Nutrition, a member of the Federation of Holistic Therapists, and an ambassador for the Public Health Collaboration, a UK-based charity on a mission to help people enjoy good metabolic health and prevent chronic disease through evidence-based lifestyle education. On this podcast, I explore the intersection of nutritional science, quantum biology, and circadian health, breaking down how light, timing, and nervous system regulation and metabolic rhythm work together to create the foundation for healing. My approach is simple, science-informed, and focused on what your body actually needs to restore energy, hormones, and vitality. And I want to be upfront with you as well that this field is constantly evolving. New research comes out all the time, and I'm always learning and refining my understanding alongside you. What I share is based on the best available evidence I have right now, combined with what I see working in practice. But I'm also on this learning journey with you, not pretending I have all the answers figured out. So in this first episode, I want to introduce to you the concept of quantum nourishment and explain the 4 pillars that guide everything I teach. If you're new here, this episode's definitely for you. And if you've been following my work already, then this episode will give you the complete framework in one place. Just a disclaimer here, this is not medical advice, so if you have specific health concerns, please work with your healthcare provider. This is about understanding your body better, but it's not a replacement for proper medical care. So let me ask you something. How many of these sound familiar? You're eating well, probably better than most people you know. You've cut out processed foods, you're cooking from scratch, you're trying to eat balanced meals, you're moving your body, maybe going to the gym, doing yoga or walking regularly, or you're trying to manage stress, get enough sleep, and stay hydrated. You're doing everything the wellness world tells you to do. And yet you're still exhausted, your sleep feels fragile, your hormones feel chaotic. You have afternoon energy crashes, your brain feels foggy, you might be dealing with digestive issues or weight that won't shift, or PMS symptoms that are getting worse, or perimenopause that feels brutal. And at some point you start wondering, am I doing something wrong? What am I missing here? And this pattern comes up quite a bit in my work. Women who are intelligent, health conscious, genuinely trying hard, but their bodies aren't responding. And here's what I think is happening. And this was true for me too. The problem isn't what you're eating or how much you're exercising. Well, it could be depending on what you're eating, but it's probably not what you're eating or how much exercise you're doing. The problem is that your body has lost its rhythm. So let me explain what I mean by that. Your body runs on an internal 24-hour clock, and this is called your circadian rhythm, and it's controlled primarily by light exposure, specifically sunlight hitting your eyes and skin at certain times of day. This rhythm controls everything, so that's when you wake up, when you feel hungry, when your body produces energy efficiently, when it burns fat versus stores it, when it repairs cells, when hormones are released, when digestion is optimal, and when your immune system is active as well. And everything in your body is timed. But here's what tends to happen in modern life. We are indoors most of the day. We don't get morning sunlight. We have bright artificial lights at night. We eat at irregular times. We are stressed constantly. We stare at screens until we go to bed. And our bodies, our ancient biology that evolved over millions of years, have absolutely no idea what time of day it is. So your metabolism gets confused, your hormones get disrupted, your energy production becomes unstable, your nervous system stays in that stressed, activated state because it thinks something is wrong. And no amount of perfect eating or intense exercise will fix fundamentally misaligned signals. That's what I mean when I say your body isn't broken, it's out of rhythm. And rhythm is something that we can definitely restore. When I first learned about circadian biology, I remember feeling this weird mix of relief and frustration at the same time. Relief because, oh my goodness, it wasn't me. I wasn't failing. My body was just responding to these misaligned signals, but also frustration because why didn't anyone tell me this before? Why did I spend years trying different diets when the problem was that I wasn't getting morning light and I was up until midnight on my laptop? And it felt so simple, almost too simple to be true. Like, could this really just be about light exposure and meal timing? But when I started applying these principles, getting outside first thing in the morning, eating within an hour or two of sunrise, dimming lights in the evening, stopping dinner by 7 p.m. most nights, things really started to change for me. Not instantly, but within a few weeks, I noticed my energy was more stable. Within a couple of months, my sleep improved, and within 6 months, I felt like a completely different person, to be honest. And I thought, if this worked for me, it might help other people too. And that is exactly why I do this work now. So what is quantum nourishment? It's not about quantum physics. I know it sounds a bit like that, but you definitely don't need a science degree to understand this. Quantum nourishment is simply the idea that your body needs more than just food to function well. Traditional nutrition focuses almost entirely on what you eat, so calories, macros, nutrients, food quality, that sort of thing. And these things do matter, I'm not saying that they don't, but your metabolism, your ability to produce energy, balance hormones, regulate weight, feel good, is also shaped by when you see light, when you eat relative to light exposure, whether your nervous system feels safe or threatened, how you move your body, and the signals your environment sends to your cells. Your body is constantly receiving information from your environment, so light, temperature, food timing, stress levels, movement patterns, and it's using that information to decide, should I produce energy or conserve it? Should I burn fat or store it? Should I repair cells or focus on survival? Should I feel calm or stay alert? This is what I mean by signals, and when those signals are misaligned, when your body doesn't know what time it is, when it thinks you're under threat, when it's not getting the inputs it expects, your metabolism really struggles, and no amount of perfect food will override the confused signals. That's quantum nourishment. It's about giving your body the right information at the right time so it can do what it's designed to do, which is produce energy, balance hormones, repair itself, and thrive. Now, there is some actual quantum biology involved here, the study of how light and electromagnetic fields affect biological processes at the cellular level. Scientists and researchers in circadian biology have shown that light doesn't just affect your eyes, it affects your mitochondria, your hormones, and your metabolism. But you don't need to understand the quantum mechanics to apply these principles. You just need to understand that light matters, and timing matters, and your nervous system state matters. And when you align those things, your body can finally do what it's been trying to do all along. All right, so let me introduce you to the 4 pillars that guide everything that I teach. These aren't separate protocols to stack on top of each other. They're interconnected systems that, when aligned, allow your body to function the way it's designed to. Pillar 1 is light, rhythm, and the nervous system. This is the foundation that everything else builds on. Your circadian rhythm, that internal 24-hour clock, is controlled primarily by light. And when light hits your eyes in the morning, it sets your entire day in motion. It triggers cortisol release at the right time, suppresses melatonin so you feel awake, and starts a timer for when you'll feel sleepy later. And morning light is the most powerful metabolic signal you can give your body. And this isn't just about feeling awake. Morning light actually changes your metabolism. It improves insulin sensitivity, which means your body can process food more efficiently. It supports mitochondrial function, which is how your cells make energy. It sets the stage for stable energy throughout the day. But here's the other piece, your nervous system. When you're chronically stressed, when your nervous system is in that sympathetic fight or flight mode most of the time, your body thinks it's under threat. And when it thinks you're under threat, it prioritizes survival over healing. It stores fat instead of burning it. It disrupts hormone production. It impairs digestion. It keeps you wired but exhausted. So restoring rhythm isn't just about light exposure. It's also about helping your nervous system feel safe. This pillar is about aligning with natural light-dark cycles and supporting your nervous system to shift out of chronic stress mode. So here's a practical example, getting outside for 10 to 15 minutes within the first hour or 2 of waking up, not through a window, but actually outdoor light, even if it's cloudy, even if it's grey and miserable out there. This one signal can start to reset your circadian rhythm and help your body know what time it is. Pillar 2 is cellular fuel, not calories. This pillar is about understanding that food isn't just about calories, it's information. What you eat, when you eat, and in what combination all send signals to your cells about what time it is, what season it is, and whether resources are abundant or scarce. Your body doesn't just process food for energy, it processes food for signals. And eating late at night, for example, confuses your metabolism because your body isn't designed to digest food when it should be repairing and restoring itself during sleep. Eating a lot of processed carbohydrates without protein or fats sends a signal that glucose is abundant, which keeps insulin elevated and blocks fat burning. Eating at irregular times, sometimes breakfast, sometimes not, lunch at different times every day, confuses your circadian rhythm because meal timing is one of the signals your body uses to know what time it is. So the pillar is about food quality, yes, eating real nutrient-dense food, but it's also about timing, eating during daylight hours, finishing dinner early enough that you have a natural overnight fasting period, making sure meals contain adequate protein and healthy fats to stabilize blood sugar. It's about using food as communication, not just as fuel. So a practical example here is eating breakfast within a couple of hours of waking, having your largest meal earlier in the day when your insulin sensitivity is highest, and finishing dinner by 7 or 8 p.m. most nights to create a natural 12 to 14 hour overnight fast. Pillar 3 is metabolic flexibility. This is your body's ability to efficiently switch between different fuel sources, glucose from carbohydrates and fat from either dietary fat or stored body fat. When you're metabolically flexible, you can go several hours without eating and still have stable energy. You don't crash if you miss a meal, you don't need constant snacks or caffeine to function. But when metabolic flexibility is impaired, when your body has lost the ability to access fat for energy, you become dependent on constant glucose. You crash when blood sugar drops, you need to eat frequently, you feel shaky, irritable, foggy if you go too long without food. This pattern is really common and it's often mistaken for needing to eat more or having a fast metabolism. But what's actually happening is that your body can't efficiently burn fat, so it's stuck relying on glucose. Metabolic flexibility can be restored, but it's not restored through extreme fasting or restriction, especially if your body is already stressed. It's restored through gentle alignment, eating at the right times, supporting your circadian rhythm, reducing stress on your nervous system, and giving your body the right signals. When metabolic flexibility improves, energy stabilizes, cravings reduce, and you feel calmer and more in control. So a practical example here, instead of focusing on an 18-hour fast when your body isn't ready, you might start by simply creating a natural eating window during daylight hours, say breakfast at 8 a.m, dinner by 7 p.m, which gives you a 13-hour overnight fast without forcing anything. Pillar 4 is movement for mitochondria. Your mitochondria are the energy factories in every cell. They are what produce ATP, which is cellular energy, and movement is one of the primary signals that tells your mitochondria to adapt and become more efficient. But, and this is important, movement isn't about punishment or burning calories, it's about signaling. The right kind of movement signals to your body, we are capable, we are strong, we can handle challenges. The wrong kind of movement, excessive high-intensity training without adequate recovery, exercising when you're already depleted, or forcing yourself through workouts that you absolutely dread signals stress, and stress impairs metabolic function. So the pillar is about movement that supports mitochondrial health and metabolic function, not movement that depletes you. Walking, especially outdoors in natural light, is one of the most underrated metabolic interventions. Strength training 2 to 3 times per week builds metabolically active muscle tissue, and gentle mobility work supports circulation and recovery. But rest matters too, and recovery does matter. Your mitochondria need time to repair and adapt. So a practical example here would be walking outside for 20 to 30 minutes most days, ideally in the morning light. Strength training 2 to 3 times per week, focusing on major muscle groups and prioritizing recovery and not pushing through when you're genuinely exhausted. Now, these 4 pillars aren't separate things to tackle one at a time. They are completely interconnected. When you improve your light exposure and circadian alignment, which was pillar 1, your metabolism improves, which helps with metabolic flexibility, which was pillar 3. When you eat at the right times relative to light, pillar 2, your circadian rhythm strengthens, which is pillar 1. When you move in ways that support mitochondrial function, which is pillar 4, your energy improves, which makes it easier to maintain habits across all pillars. And when your nervous system feels safe, that's pillar 1, everything else works better, so digestion, hormone production, fat metabolism, and sleep. This is what I mean when I say quantum nourishment isn't another protocol, it's a framework. It's about understanding how these systems work together and supporting them in an integrated way. When I first started learning about this, I was really overwhelmed. I thought, okay, so I need to fix my light exposure and change my meal timing and improve my movement and regulate my nervous system. How do I do all of that? But here's what I learned. You don't have to do everything at once. You just start with one thing. So usually that's morning light exposure because it's the most powerful signal you can give your body and it sets everything else in motion. And then you build from there. So you add another piece and another. And slowly your body starts to respond and things will start to shift. It doesn't happen overnight, but it definitely does happen. So here's what you can expect from this podcast going forward. Every week I will dive into a specific topic related to these 4 pillars. Sometimes it'll be practical, like how to optimize morning light exposure in winter, or what to eat for stable energy, or how to break the afternoon crash cycle. Sometimes it will be more foundational, exploring the science behind why certain things work, or addressing common myths and misconceptions. Some episodes will include client stories, and some episodes will be just about me working through a topic. But everything will come back to this framework: light, food timing, metabolic flexibility, and movement, all supported by nervous system regulation. My goal isn't to give you another protocol to follow. My goal is to help you understand what your body has been trying to tell you so you can make informed decisions that actually work for you. Because the truth is, you're not broken, you're just out of rhythm. And rhythm is something that can be restored. If you want to go deeper into the foundational signals we've talked about today, I've created a free guide called 3 Hidden Signals Your Body is Missing. It walks you through the 3 most important signals, light, timing, and the nervous system state, and gives you practical steps to start supporting each one. You can grab it from my website at francesnorgate.com/resources, and I'll leave the link in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for listening to this first episode. I'm so glad you're here. If this resonates with you, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll be releasing a new episode every week, diving into specific topics that support these 4 pillars. And if you found this helpful, I'd be so grateful if you'd leave a review. It helps other people find the podcast. Next week, we're talking about why you're exhausted despite sleeping 8 hours and what's actually happening when your circadian rhythm is off. I'm really excited to share this work with you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.